Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence with Just Ask. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is Welcome Back to Ombudsman. Hurry back and join us. Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is welcoming back the Ombudsman. And we have the Ombudsman himself, Bruce Simpson, and Deputy Ombudsman, Gail Bernard. Thank you both for coming to see me today.
Of course, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Now, you know what? A lot of people say, what's the Ombudsman? So before we get into anything, you two, I want to, if you could, recap the last visit you had with us, because really what I was trying to do is make sure that our viewers understand the importance of what the Ombudsman does and how to get in touch with you when they have a certain type of crisis. So which one of you want to start?
I could go ahead.
Okay.
So the Office of the Ombudsman is an independent oversight agency. We take complaints against all city departments. So if you're having any kind of issue with the city department, I encourage that you call our office. We're located in the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center, which is 2 Woodward Avenue, Suite 114. We're conveniently located on the first floor. And we're there from 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. You can call us at 313-224-6000. And we have a nice, friendly staff that is very knowledgeable. And we're waiting by the phones to help you. You can walk in without an appointment.
Okay. So a lot of people are confused about what does the Ombudsman do?
I'll tackle that. So we do a lot of work. It centers around complaint resolution. That's something that we take very seriously. As Gail alluded to, we don't look necessarily to be the first call. We want you to engage the department, give them an opportunity to resolve it. But if they do not, that is when you call your ombudsman. So we're a lot like escalation. You think of a corporation, you call, you speak to a customer service rep and they can't get it done. You say, I want to talk to the manager. In this analogy, we are the manager when that issue has to be escalated. In addition to that, we focus on policy formation as well, which I'm sure we're going to talk about later. But that's largely based on the complaints we receive. You're able to see what is systemically broken and what requires a tweak or a fix.
So what are some of the issues that people call about?
Oh, we get it all. We get it all.
We get it all.
From the water bill to illegal dumping, to the street light is out, to my property tax, my overassessment, flooded streets, everything that you can think of.
Okay. So now, is there a geographical boundaries that you guys cover?
The entire city of Detroit.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah.
So because people sometimes, will say, well, how far is your reach? So they know how far, if they could call and ask a question. So if it's the city of Detroit, but say the city of Highland Park has an issue of Hamtramck, do they have an ombudsman themselves, or is it a referral out?
They don't. We've had conversation with their government, one of their members, their council members. They want to establish one, but they don't have one.
Okay. And see, that's the thing, when we do a show like Just Ask, we always want to make sure that people can feel comfortable in reaching out to a service to find out, can I get my problem resolved, or what can I do? So even if they're not a resident of Detroit, they're still going to have concerns the same as residents of Detroit. But a lot of people in the city don't even know half the time that they can, reach out to you guys. I was telling somebody not too long ago that there are ombudsmen in the hospital, and they didn't know that. And I'm like, if you feel like you're still unable to leave the hospital for whatever reason, you're supposed to be able to, notify the ombudsman of the hospital or the number on the back of your card and say, hey,
Right.
I'm not feeling well, and I don't think they should discharge me.
Hospitals, schools,
Mm-hmm.
prisons, all type of entities.
Right. So I'm glad, you guys are telling us, that you do the Metro Detroit area.
Correct.
Okay. So if I ain't got a problem with my neighbor, and to me it's not resolvable because he's over my property line, I know he's over my property line, I can reach out to you guys and say,
You can, depending on what he's doing. We may tell you you need a survey, which is something that you have to secure privately. But depending on what he's doing, let's say he illegally erected a fence, right? That's something that comes up oftentimes. If our buildings and safety engineering and environmental department can determine that it has been erected illegally, that's something that they will tackle for you.
okay, but our seniors feel as though some of them say, well, I don't have money to get a survey done. I don't have monies to, and I'm nervous as it is. I'm afraid that this person's going to retaliate. Is there some type of comfort that they can get from the Ombudsman office that something will be looked into?
Well, sometimes we refer them out to different agencies. You have AAA, which is Area Agency on Aging. And a lot of times they help them out, but we do try to send them out to a referral.
Okay. Because like I said, I've gotten phone calls where people say, well, you know what, this young folks moved next door to me and they're making all kinds of noise and everything, and I don't feel comfortable anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they're looking for an outlet. Okay.
So, for example, when I hear that, you have a neighborhood police officer, what we call NPOs for DPD.
Okay.
They are responsible for responding to those community concerns, especially noise violations. And there's an ordinance that regulates it. And of course, they have to triage the different issues that come into the police department, but certainly we can get them to respond.
So do you guys have any involvement with such as like right now we're going through this heat crisis, and why every year when we go through these heat crises there's apartment buildings that they don't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
Somebody don't have water.
I took a complaint today for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are we at with things like that, Gail?
Well, what we do is we will lodge that complaint for the person, but usually the department knows about it and they're working with the owners of the apartment building or senior home. It was a lady that came in today and she had to go to the library to get some relief. Yeah. So, but they were trying to work it out with the apartment building. So when I went up to talk to the department, they knew about it.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying. We go through this every year nonstop, no matter what season it is, with the 4 quarters, but the summer season seems to be the hardest on our seniors. And so when people who own apartment buildings are not in compliance, who do the residents turn to?
Right. So again, that's our building safety engineering and environmental department. That's the department that Gail went up to talk to. One of the problems is the changing of hands. Sometimes ownership and management, even if it's not the ownership, the management team changes hands. And when that occurs, you may run into a party that's not as diligent about dealing with those issues. All winter long, you knew that spring and summer was coming, but you did not do what you needed to do to repair the system. Sometimes it's a financial thing where they don't want to spend the money. I'm talking about some of these owners and management companies.
Right.
They're trying to get all the profit but spend no money repairing the things that need to be repaired. So it's finding out what the cause is and making sure that it's fixed and then monitoring it through our departments.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a break, and ladies and gentlemen, I know you got questions for the ombudsmen, both of them, deputy and ombudsman. So we'll get your pen and paper out. That's my favorite line. Get your pen and paper out and write your questions down, and then we'll make sure you get that number. We'll be right back.
This isn't a workout video. It's about how LLS has helped blood cancer patients like me thrive, and how your donation can help countless others. Please give today at lls.org.
And welcome back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know me. Not only do we educate you about what goes on in the communities, we want to make sure I'm educated too. Okay, so normally when you see Just Ask, it's always a good topic because somebody's got a question. So I asked our dear friends, the Ombudsman and Deputy Ombudsman, to come back and join us because some changes are going down and we want to make sure that you are aware of them. All right, so both of you, you went before the City Council in March and presented your budget for recommendation. What was that all about?
Yeah, so every year we go before council as part of the role of the ombudsman is to analyze the mayor's budget and make recommendations. So every year that is essentially what makes every department run. It determines how much funding they get, and we have a job in analyzing that and coming up with some recommendations that'll help the city run smoother.
Okay, so you presented 5. So what was the 5?
Yeah, so very briefly, look, in many ways we never recovered from COVID and the pandemic, and we got in the habit of relaxed hours. So for example, we have a couple of departments that decided that they were not going to be open and available on Fridays. And one of the things I tell residents is you don't have the option to not pay your taxes. So we shouldn't have the option of not being available on a Friday. So for example, Treasury and Assessors, located right on the first floor across from us, they decided that after 12 o'clock noon, you cannot access them via phone, and they're closed to the public entirely throughout the day in terms of walking in, although they're open Monday through Thursday. That's unacceptable to me, to us. I think government has a responsibility to be accessible Monday through Friday. If you are a working person, like most of us are in this economy, if you take a day off to handle your business, it's going to be Friday, right? That's what most of us do. I know that's what I do because I'm a working person. But imagine you take that day off, you come down to City Hall thinking that you're going to talk to someone about your assessment, your taxes, but the office is closed. And you may or may not see the telephone number that you can access to get someone if you make it before noon. If it's afternoon, then you're out of luck. So that was one recommendation, to make sure that those offices are open.
Wow. I had that experience, so I know what you're talking about. I had that experience. I got down there and I'm like, what? So yeah, that's not good.
You should have came across the hall. Okay. We would have got you together, Marshall. We would have got you together.
Okay.
Because they're there. They're there. That's the other part. Secondly, squatters. Squatters politically is a sensitive issue because in addressing squatters, you're talking about removing people from homes. But if you've had to live next door to a squatter, you know how problematic it can be and dangerous, depending on what that squatter may be up to. So we talked about that. We talked about gas stations and convenience stores. That's something I'm very passionate about. I think, we look up every couple months, there's an incident of violence that occurs at a gas station between the ownership and members from the community that frequent said gas station. People lose their lives or are seriously hurt. And so we may boycott. It shuts down for a month or a couple months maybe, and then it's purchased by someone who more than likely has a connection to the previous owner, right?
Family
and
member.
Then it's back to business as usual. What we've said is that the persons that own these gas stations and convenience stores are more than likely going to be non-Detroiters. And so there's a disconnect between the ownership and the community. The relationship is purely transactional. When they're done working, they leave that job and they go somewhere to the suburbs. That money doesn't stay in the city of Detroit. And so what we said in terms of remedying or fixing that, we need to develop a mechanism where Detroiters can own some of these gas stations and convenience stores, a mechanism where we help fund and provide administrative support. Most people, when you walk into a gas station, you never think about ownership. You view yourself as a consumer. But the city of Detroit, like most urban areas or urban cities, are our citizens don't have representation in those gas stations and convenience stores.
But then when we have an incident that happens at one of the gas stations, that's when all the uproar comes about, and everybody like, you know what, we don't have enough stores or gas stations owned by African Americans, period. Okay.
When
so-
you start doing the research
Right.
and you look at how many gas stations throughout the country are owned by African Americans, it's startling. We are not well represented in that area, and there's no reason why
Right.
we can't. And I think government can play a part in changing that. Additionally, we talked about immigration. It's a hot topic. It's one that
Oh, yeah.
people kind of do like this. They don't want to talk about, but we talked about it in saying that if you are here legally, I want to place emphasis on that. If you are here in the city of Detroit legally, our government should be equipped to assist you as an immigrant and have infrastructure that can accommodate. I believe we have a long way to go in doing that. So we talked about that. We talked about.
So these are some very hot and heavy topics. I mean, just knowing that you guys had took the time out to create a bill to help people understand these things, more clarification. It's vital because we don't know about the gas stations. We don't know too many things about the immigration. We're losing out on things, and then a lot of people don't know they can come to your office and state their complaint, and those complaints pile up. It means something's going on. We need to address this as a whole.
Yep, that is correct.
Yep.
That is correct.
Yep, and that's good. So before I wanted to go to a break, but I see on the board we have, did you forget to file your property transfer affidavit when you purchase property in the state of Michigan? What is that?
So that is one of two laws that we have had passed in the state of Michigan that is based on an ombudsman recommendation. So if we come across an issue that is governed by state legislation, that means that legislation has to change, correct? So we partnered with State Senator Sylvia Santana to address this issue. So most people aren't aware, when you purchase a property, whether it's a vacant lot or a structure or commercial, residential, it doesn't matter. There are two things you absolutely have to do. You have to file the deed, right? You should file the deed. And then you should file a property transfer affidavit. That is the document that puts your name and information on the tax rolls. Speculators and investors, okay, they take advantage of not filing the property transfer affidavit. The old law indicated that there would only be a $200 penalty if you didn't file that property transfer affidavit. Well, why should the average Detroiter care about that? Because those are tax dollars that those speculators and investors are not paying. They're not paying their fair share, right? When they acquire the property, they're paying a lower taxable value. We are a decade removed from bankruptcy. We need all of the money we can get. We are not equipped to give anyone a pass on paying their fair share. And this bill here, as you can see, identifies up to a $4,000 fine for investors and speculators. Now, if this is your primary residence and you live here, you don't have to contend with that. You may have forgotten to do it. You didn't know. Your real estate attorney didn't tell you. That's fine. You get the normal $200 fine. But if you are a speculator or an investor, we are going to come after you. And we also have the assistance of the state of Michigan to help us collect with the.
That's a real spanking there, okay?
Yeah, well,
That's a real spanking.
We can't continue to let people take advantage of the city of Detroit. Those days are over. We are not trying to be punitive for the sake of, but don't think that you're going to come here and take advantage.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break, and you heard what he said. You're not going to be taking advantage of the city of Detroit. We'll be right back.
If you store your guns properly,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
And I won't have to tell my kids, this isn't a drill.
Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Always lock it up.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I said this is the welcome back from the Ombudsman. So, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, when you have questions, you can always give me a call, 1-800-323-5336, and we will get that question over to whoever you've seen as our guest. So I know somebody's got questions about what does the Ombudsman do, or how to connect with the Ombudsman. But we're going to talk about some community outreach. So, Deputy Bernard, I know you have some things that you want to tell us about community outreach.
I do.
Okay.
I do. So
All right.
let's look at the.
Yeah, so I know we always have photos, and there's the first one. So, okay, now that's Ombudsman Bruce Simpson looking mighty dapper there. What's up with that one?
Having a good time with the kiddos. This is District 1, Pro Tem Tate, his initiative to welcome the kids back to school. This should have been in the fall, September, high-fiving the children.
Okay, all right. So the kids actually get excited when they see representatives come around?
Absolutely. That initiative, just very briefly, that initiative is all black men. And so they get a chance to see us.
Men in profession.
Yeah,
Okay,
professional black men who are there to greet them.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Now, do I see Deputy Bernard
You do.
entertaining the children? What's going on there?
Having a great time. This is March Reading Month, and we did visit a number of schools, elementary schools. So I am reading to the first grade class.
Okay, and I like when you get a chance to hang out with kids and they get to see adults do things and you get their little attention. I've had the opportunity to do it a couple of times, and then the kids sent me cards afterwards, and I, had tears in my eyes. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
they love me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was, what was this, Bruce? This was not Reading Month, was it? March?
No, it wasn't reading month. This is more recently, but
Yeah.
That's a full class right there, and they just cheesing.
yeah, we had a good time. It might have even been career day, so we
Career
do that as well.
Yeah.
Go talk to them about what we do and their options and their path and how you develop goals.
I think we still should have career day all the time.
Yes.
Keep these young
Yes.
folks on track,
Yes.
let them know what tomorrow can look like for them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great, great, great. I remember career day. I'm glad you said they still got it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
All
yeah.
right, and what are we going on here?
And this was a community meeting. As you can see, the room does not seem to look very full, but as we always say, we'll come to a room with one person, two people, or 500. So that just goes to show you the dedication that Mr. Simpson has.
Okay. All right. Like you said, it doesn't matter. Somebody's got to hear this, and they'll spread the word, even if it's just one person.
Right. If we touch one life, that means a lot.
I do want to say one thing in terms of outreach. I think this is extremely important, and it's going to tie into what Gail's going to talk about here. But from February of 2024 through February of 2025, we held or participated in 165 events, both virtually and in person.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and we couldn't have done that without the lovely Linda Wesley, who's our community outreach coordinator, who you know very well.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Linda.
But we do a lot of work, and so you'll have full rooms, 5, 10 people, small rooms, but
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
That's great. That's great. So the Office of the Ombudsman satellite locations running from March 3rd to July 23rd, and all the listings of the locations and the date. So you guys actually set up camp, so to speak, at these locations so people can come in and ask questions and get issues resolved or documented?
Yes, we do. In fact, we hosted 22 satellite locations citywide with a total of 3 in each district. And these events are extremely appreciated by the community because they give our citizens an opportunity to visit our office without leaving their neighborhood.
Okay. Okay, so we're getting down into the end of the list here, but I'm going to show up at a couple of these, okay?
Okay, we
I'm going
encourage
to
you
do
to.
a stop by. So I understand your appointment as Ombudsman and Deputy Ombudsman ends in October.
That's
Can we
correct.
touch up on that?
Yeah, absolutely we can.
Okay.
It's not a sad thing, bad thing. We've accomplished a lot, I feel. We are. There are only a few ombudsmen. There are 5 to be exact. This office has been in existence since 1974, so I'm proud to say that I'm one of 5, and I'm proud to say that our administration has had 2 state laws that are applicable to all 10 million Michiganders. So it's not just a Detroit thing. We look out for everybody. I'm the ombudsman for the city of Detroit, but we, again, have worked with legislators to pass laws for all Michiganders, including our veterans. I believe I touched on that last time I was here, but our disabled veterans
Yes.
are property tax exempt. Our 100% disabled veterans are property tax exempt, and we worked on that for them so that they can file their exemption once and never have to come back, right?
great.
It used to be annually, and there are more benefits to that, but it's not a negative thing. It's a very positive thing in terms of the change and impact I believe we've had over the last 10 years. Gail?
Yes. Well, I think that we've done our job and we've done it well. So I don't have any regrets. And we want to see whoever gets in the office afterwards, keep the office moving forward. So farewell.
I mean, well, you guys actually, it's like, I shouldn't say changing of the guards, but so much like that's what it is. So it's a transition?
Yeah, it is. So there'll be a process conducted by the Legislative Policy Division and City Council where they pick the next ombudsman. That process is already underway. They don't want to wait till the last minute, and council recesses in August.
But everything that you have done stays in place?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
nothing is undone.
Okay. Okay.
You know, it is a part of the official record. Every recommendation that I've written, all of the laws, they don't just you know, disappear.
Well, we don't want to go back.
No,
Right,
no.
right. Okay.
I believe in the institution and the function. We have set it up for success. Whomever my successor may be will find a healthy, robust operation, all the way down to the budgeting. We have implemented something called proportional funding, which just secures, to a certain degree, a certain level of funding for oversight agencies. As you can imagine, providing oversight is not something that's always welcome.
True.
And one of the points of attack would be that budget, but we have even secured that over the next 3 years for sure. So, again, happy, proud, and
All right. So you guys will have a small vacation before you go into your next chosen field?
I can't speak for her, but I'm definitely taking one. For me, it would be 18 years of complaints and recommendations, because before I was the ombudsman, I was an assistant ombudsman.
So you know.
Yeah, and so there will be a break.
Okay. Well, you know, take that break. It's well deserved, and you know, you never know. You want to come back in and make it happen again in another, you know, department or whatever. And I understand, because I'm retired state employee. To me, I've never stopped being a state employee, because I can see a problem and resolve it, or I can stand back and just watch it, and I'd rather resolve it.
Right.
Okay, so hats off to both of you, and I thank you so much for joining us. And we will look forward to the next group of representatives for the ombudsman's position. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I do want to thank you for watching, because, you know, like the ombudsman and the deputy ombudsman both said, it's going to be a change there, but it's going to be a positive change, and it's going to continue. So don't feel like you can't contact the office and get assistance. You still can, and you can always give us a call and ask us any questions as well. I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. And what do I always say? If you got a question about a person with a disability or just a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host. Thank you.